Should you surcharge at your business? Today we're going to talk about surcharging, and I'm going to give you key considerations to think about if you're looking at implementing a system. And I'm going to base it off of a document that's on Visa's website, and I'm even going to give you their official stance on surcharging for businesses coming up. So if you've been in business for any length of time by now, you're probably familiar with surcharging and cash discount and convenience fees. You've probably seen ads out there. You've seen, customers have asked you about it, perhaps, whether surcharging is, a good thing or a bad thing. You've heard about it regardless. And today we're focused solely on surcharging, not cash discount and not convenience fees. So we're going to base today's video largely on this document here, which is posted on Visa's website under the surcharging section, and it is linked up in the description of this video. So if you want to follow along, go over there, click to download, and I'm going to reference some of the questions on this document as we go through today's content. Up in the right-hand corner, if you've downloaded it, the number one question of consideration, which has always been my number one recommendation, which is, what do your customers think? That's the first thing that you should consider, because your customers are the lifeblood of your business. They are all important. Without customers, you don't have a business. So what are some of the repercussions? What are the things that, will you have blowback if you implement a system? Do you have regular customers that come in? Are you a restaurant? Are you a local retail business that you see the same faces over and over again? If you put a surcharge program in for your products or services, and all of a sudden that, regular customer comes in and they have to pay a surcharge, are they going to get upset? Are they going to question it? Are they, is there going to be blowback, as I said? So consider what your customers are gonna think as question number one. Number two is, what do you need to disclose to your customers? So what do you have to put into place if you have a surcharge program? Well, the general rule is that you have to tell them that there is a surcharge program in place. You have to have some signage. We'll cover that a little bit more with some of the other questions on this document, but you have to let them know up front. And number three is, what do your competitors do? Okay, again, if you're a restaurant or a local retailer, are there your competition, are there others that are not surcharging? And if they're not, what if you implement a surcharge to your customers? Your product all of a sudden becomes more expensive, arguably, or the customer has to pay more money to come and eat at your restaurant versus going down the street to the other bar and grill that doesn't have a surcharge program. So those are valid concerns. You need to give some thought to that before rolling out a program like this. Once again, on this document, if we scroll over to the left-hand side, there's 5 questions. I've touched on these before, but we'll go through them real quick. Number one, again, if you're putting a surcharging program together, is it permitted in your state? There's legalities with surcharging and all of the cash discount and convenience fee. Again, go watch that video if you want to know all the details there. But with surcharging, it does depend on state to state rules and regulations. So is it allowed in your state? On this form that Visa has published, at least at the time of this video, there's 5 states that it's not allowed in still in the United States. And there's another link from a merchant services and payment processing industry publication that I'll link up for you so you can see, and I'll put it on the screen here, that actually says that there's only 2 remaining, Connecticut and Massachusetts. So Colorado, Maine, and Oklahoma, by June of 22, Colorado prohibition is effective through June of 22. So it might be up for dispute whether your particular state is allowed to surcharge. So I'm definitely not giving legal advice here. Check with your local laws and consult with an attorney if you have any questions before you roll out a program. The next question is, when can I begin? Okay, if you decided to put a program into place, could you just go out tomorrow and start surcharging right away? The answer is no. You need 30 days before you start surcharging. You have to register first and then give it a 30-day window. So your merchant services provider should walk you through that and take care of all of the compliance and the official registration process, but you do need 30 days before you can start. The next question is, when can I surcharge? And specifically, they're asking about the environment here. So what types of cards, when am I allowed to surcharge, in what scenario? You're only allowed to surcharge on credit cards, not on debit cards or prepaid cards. Depending on the software or hardware, the point of sale system that you're using, a lot of them nowadays will recognize whether it's a debit card or a credit card, specifically if you're using a surcharging program, and it won't allow you to surcharge the debit card. So you should be okay to just use it as though you don't have to worry about it at the point of sale. Those debit cards and prepaid cards won't allow it to be surcharged. The next question is, how much can I surcharge? And the general rule here is no more than the cost of your acceptance. So a traditional merchant account, your effective rates might range anywhere from high 1% up to high 2s, 3%, or maybe 3.5%. With a surcharging program, it's pretty common to have a set fixed rate if you convert your traditional account over to Surcharge at about 3.5%. There may be some variation or variance there, but it's about 3.5%. You can't pick and choose or change it for some cards or some stores. If you're going to surcharge, it's going to be a fixed amount for all credit card purchases, and it's pretty cut and dry in that regard. So 3.5%, you can't charge more than that. What must I disclose to my customers when surcharging? And this one is referencing the signage. There's links also, once again, in the description. I give you as much of the resources as I can. I always try and link them in the description if I reference it in a video. And this is talking about what signage or what notices you need to have on your website or on your point of sale system, in your store, in your invoices, on your website, all of that. It's recommended to let your customers know, because the key here is that you let the customer know prior to them consuming the product or using the service or buying from you. So you can't spring it on them after the fact. If they've purchased something and the product came in and it's been installed and or they've consumed it, you can't add the surcharge at the end, or at least you're not supposed to. So make sure that you're following all those compliance rules and guidelines, so you don't jeopardize your merchant account in any way. Okay, so that's it. That's surcharging. Those are the key considerations according to Visa. I share some of the same questions that I would ask, and I get it. It is controversial. It's some of your customers aren't going to like it. Some of your fellow business owners in the community won't like it. They'll be opposed to it. Others really like it. So consider these questions, and I'm curious what your thoughts are. If you're a business owner, not necessarily the consumers that are watching this video, but if you own a business, a retail shop, a restaurant, a local business, where you're considering putting a surcharge program into place, maybe you have, maybe you haven't. Why haven't you? Are there things that are standing in your way? If you have, what were the questions that you asked yourself before going through it? Did you ask yourself some of these questions that we just covered today? I'm curious to hear, and leave me a comment down below on what your thought process was before you implemented a surcharge program. If you have questions about surcharging, you can get in touch with me or my team. We'll walk you through all the nuances and all the questions, make sure you have everything on the up and up before you roll out a program. Give this video a thumbs up, as I said. Subscribe for more videos just like it. Share the video with a friend. All of that helps these videos get found, and I appreciate you sharing and liking our videos. Until next time, I'm Brian Manning. Have a great day.